Okay, good evening and namaste, everyone. Welcome to day one of the workshop on Know and Understand Karma. Today's overview, I will go over it once. We will be understanding the literal meaning or the literal definition of the word karma. And then we have a comparison between the Eastern and the Western philosophies, what they have to say about karma. Just a quick and a very short comparison, so we will be able to view it in two different ways. And then we will understand how karma is formed. This is very important. That's why we are bringing this up on day one, because the later days of this workshop will go a little more intense. And if we don't understand this, the rest will be a little challenge to understand. And how karma is formed is very important. And this is kind of interlinked with sense organs. So what are sense organs? Why do we call them sense organs? And what role do they play in karma formation? So we will go over all this today. So let's begin with the definition of karma. What is karma? Karma in literal sense, it will be an action and the result of that action. Very simple way of understanding. And this action could be physical, it could be mental, like thoughts, it could be emotional with feelings involved, and it could be spiritual action, any kind of service without any expectations or with expectations also. We do have expectations sometimes. So any action and the result of that action will be deemed as karma. Now, karma is a truth. It is not a philosophy. Like philosophy is something that is, um, it's a kind of study of um, existence, study of values, study of knowledge of a certain kind. Now, this is not a study, this is a truth of this universe. And how is it a truth? We will find that out later. Now, Eastern philosophy, let's come to the second point, the Eastern and the Western comparison of how they how they think about karma. Now, the Eastern philosophy says that karma is the fate or destiny of a person's actions. So it decides the fate or destiny. And across the Eastern philosophy also says there are multiple lifetimes. And this decides any karma of one lifetime can decide the fate or destiny of multiple lifetimes. So this is the viewpoint of Eastern philosophy. And now multiple lifetimes means reincarnations, because we die and then we take birth, we die again and then we take birth. And this determines how the next birth will be and where it will be, in which form it will be. So those are the multiple lifetimes. Now the Western philosophy, it is mentioned in Bible that reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. So even the Western philosophy has the same viewpoint, but with a little difference. They don't go over multiple lifetimes. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, there is only one lifetime that is being talked about, and it says that person's actions have consequences in life. So in the Western philosophy emphasizes a single lifetime and a final judgment, right? So is that correct? One single
Yeah.
life and a final judgment? Yes.
Yes.
Is rather a cyclical system of reincarnation. That's the only difference. But both philosophies, they do have, they view karma as something that decides your lifetime. Eastern decides over multiple lifetimes, and Western is just one final judgment. So that is a short comparison of how we can view karma from our cultures. Now, the third and the fourth point, how karma is formed and the sense organs, their role in karma, these both are interlinked and they will take most of the class today's session's time. So we will go over them very slowly, and in the end, we will keep question and answers if you have any. Okay. Now there are how is karma born or how is karma formed? There are five sense organs for karma. Without these five sense organs, there would be no karma. And these five sense organs are present in and on human body. So when a soul enters human body, it is going to use these sense organs to perceive the world, right? To perceive its environment. Now, when the soul perceives the world, there is action. Because when the soul sees through the eyes and it says something, it does something, that is an action. And every action will have a result. And the karma begins to happen from there. That's how the formation of karma begins. It is the sense organs are responsible for a karma to happen. Okay, but sense organs alone cannot make the karma. A soul has to be there, which is the lifeline of a body, has to be there to be able to do an action. So we are going to go over this very, very deeply. And today we will be looking at that, the sense organs first. The sense organs are the parts or the organs of a body which they detect various sensations around, and practically everything around in the world is a sensation, whether it is a sight, it is a sound, it is touch, whatever it is, there are sensations and those are perceived by the sense organs. So definition of sense organs will be the parts, the organs on a body which detect various sensations from the environment, and these are the instruments through which a soul can perceive the world. Okay. Now, association of sense organs with the objects. Not all sense organs will be able to detect all objects. So there is a specific object or a subject associated with one sense organ, and we are going to study that. So I just wrote something so it's easy to understand. So, like we have, generally, we say we have five sense organs, but when it comes to spirituality or something like we understand karma, there are actually 11 sense organs in a human body, and we are going to go over that. Okay. Now, I've tried to explain by division. So we have classified them as sensory sense organs. There are five: eyes, and the object of eyes is sight. Ears, the object is sound. And nose is smell, tongue is taste, and skin is touch. So eyes will perceive sight, ears will perceive sound. Now, eyes will not perceive sound, ears will only perceive sound. So they have specific subjects which they can perceive. Okay?
Rupa,
Eyes will perceive sight, ears will perceive sound only, nose will perceive smell, tongue will perceive taste, and skin will perceive touch. They cannot interchange their objects and subjects. It is very specific. And these are called sensory because there are sensations that they can perceive. Sound is a sensation, so is smell, taste, touch, and sight. Now we have these are five. Then we have motor sensory organs. Motor means movement.
Mhm.
So these hands, feet, tongue, the rectum, the anus, and the sex organs. These are they have movements in them, and that's why they are called motor. Now, these are fixed. Eyes, ears, nose will not move on the body, but hands, feet, tongue, and the rest will move, right? And so this 5 and 5, 10, and one is the 11th one is the mind. It
Mhm.
is both sensory and motor. It is considered to be both sensory and motor. Okay, so we
Ru-
have 11 sense organs.
Rupa, I'm sorry. Feet, what's the word next to it? I can't see. And I didn't hear when you said that.
Feet,
N-
feet, tongue, feet and
Thank you.
tongue.
Okay,
Then
thank
we
you.
have rectum, and then we have the sex organs. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And now, how this works. Now, a sense organ on a body will perceive a sense object which is specific to it. That information of that sense object will be carried to the mind. Okay? Now, from the mind, it will be screened and processed by the intellect, which is responsible for wisdom, right? To differentiate between right and wrong. That is the job of the intellect, not the mind. Mind will only create thought once the information from the sense organ is carried to it. It will only create thought that this is an apple, or this is a woman, or this is a man. That's all. Now, what kind of woman, man, or apple that is, red, yellow, white, brown, or whatever, will be processed by the intellect. And then from the intellect, the action will happen. And action is karma. Action is karma. And following the action will be the result of that action. So that is the bottom line how karma is born. And this entire cycle is happening every moment of our life.
Hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Every moment in our life, this is being played. So now, unless a sense organ will detect an object, which is almost impossible because the world is full of objects, right? Everywhere there are objects, whether they are living or non living, and they have to perceive the object. And once the object is perceived by the sense organ, that information will be carried to the mind. The mind is active. Once it is in the mind, thoughts will begin to happen.
Hmm.
That will be screened and processed by the intellect. What should be done about that information that is coming from the mind? And from intellect, the soul will be directed to move into an action, act upon the information that is received, and that will lead to a karma being formed.
Hmm.
So that's the bottom line, a very simple way to understand. It is much detailed, but it might be a little overwhelming for the first day. So I try to keep it simple so it's easy to understand how each and every karma in every lifetime is being formed. Now, for example, let us say that all the sense organs stop working, okay, and they come to a standstill. So when they come to a standstill, There will be no sensing of the objects around us. There will be no information being carried to the mind and intellect, and there will be no karma formed. Can anyone guess what is that state called?
Is it being a coma?
Mhm. That is called meditation.
Oh.
Oh.
We are not talking medically, we are talking spiritually.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we withdraw the sense organs, we detach, the word is detach, right? So we detach ourselves from the sense organs. That's why we close the eyes so we don't see anything.
Mm.
And then we try to focus on the breath. So we try to take ourselves away from any sound, any distractions, any smells. We are only focusing on the breath, right? So once we withdraw from the sense objects around us, our soul can move into meditation. That is the basis because sense objects are distractions and they will create karma.
Mm.
Okay? Everything that is perceived through the sense organs becomes our perception. We start looking at the world through them. We do look at the world through them, right? We look and hear and taste and everything. We are dependent on sense organs. This will create our awareness. We will just come to realize, oh, this is how it is. This is how it is. And when somebody says, no, it can be this, we say, no, it has to be this because this is how we have seen it. This is how we have perceived it, right? So it becomes our perception, it becomes our awareness, and it becomes our way of interpreting life, okay, of that particular thing, of others around that thing. And when we bring this in our awareness, interpretation, this becomes our way of communication, and all the activities are dependent on our sense of perception. So this is how we are formed. This is how then the karma is formed because our perception is already formed through how we are perceiving the objects, the sense objects around in this world. So, very basic and very important way to understand how karma is born, how it is formed. Because if this is understood, then the rest, what is coming in the subsequent days, we will be able to understand in a much better way. And that's why meditation is very important. We withdraw from the world and then we are just in our basic primal form, absolutely as it is formed. Now, what we see ourselves as is a pretend form. We are always pretending to be something, pretending to be happy. Because when we are acting through the sense organs, it is our perception, like I just said, it is our interpretation. It may not match the interpretation of the person in front of us because they are perceiving it with their sense organs in a different way, the same object. So once we withdraw, we sit quietly, we silence ourselves, and we withdraw. We come to our true self, which is beyond the body. And that's what is called meditation. Okay. Now, we have talked about this a lot. The world is a stage, it's a drama happening, right? That's why we are pretending. We are all acting our roles. So, and we are able to act only with the sense organs on this body. That's why we are able to, right? And as I just mentioned, when a soul enters the body, it needs a body for karma because the sense organs are not on the soul, it's on the body. So these sense organs act like a tool or instruments for the soul to do action, which is karma. And now, what kind of action that soul does depends on its perception, what it is perceiving through the sense organs. Right, wrong, true, false, however. Okay, right. So every movement, every action through the sense organs, whether it is a physical action, mental, emotional, every action creates a result, or let's say a memory. Memory in the form, like I say, I'm doing this session today. 2 years hence, I will say, oh, I did one session in 2025, September 22nd. That is the memory that was created in me, and I still hold on to it. So every karma will have a memory, which is called the result, also called the result. So this will tell us a very grave truth in our lives, that when we should be able to realize that I am responsible for everything that is happening in my life. We should stop blaming others for it, because this is, I'm using my sense organs to perceive other people, other things, right? Everything that is around me, that is forming my interpretation, that whatever I'm perceiving, I'm bringing that in my awareness, and I'm going about doing my daily activities and communication in that awareness. So, whatever happens to me in return is happening because I am giving out that certain form of awareness in the world. It could be right, wrong, we are not judging that. What we want to say is karma is the best way to understand that we are responsible for everything that is happening to us in our lives. Everybody, it applies to everyone, right?
Are you talking about as an adult? Because that doesn't really work with a young child, right? Because their caregivers are responsible for shaping much of their world. So I'm assuming it's adults, right, that you're speaking about?
No, it's in general terms, because not every child may not touch adulthood, right?
Mm-hmm.
It depends on their lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
It is, see, the adult and a child is just the shape of and the growth of the body.
Mm.
A soul never grows. Soul is the same. There is no change of size of a soul. The body grows, not the soul.
So children bring that perception of the past life, those
Ab-
perceptions with them.
Absolutely.
And you're
Yes,
saying that means that they can be responsible for their actions.
absolutely. May not be in this lifetime, maybe in some other, but
Mm-hmm.
soul definitely carries multiple births. Like we said in the beginning, that's how we started this session. It is it's a cyclical phenomena that happens. So multiple births, if we are looking at it. Even if we look at one lifetime, as it is mentioned in the Western philosophy, even then, the final judgment, it has to be, it is based on your actions in that particular lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about multiple lifetimes, the reincarnation philosophy, then it is the soul carries, and it all depends when a particular karma that was performed by that soul in whichever lifetime we don't know will come into light. So it is a very, very intricate and a very intense truth. Okay. Tomorrow it will become a little more clearer because we will be discussing the types of karma. So the types will be how there are three major categories, and how when a soul moves from one birth to the other, how the karma reflects in a particular birth for that. Yeah. So this, whatever we are discussing today, will become much clearer tomorrow, and the day after, and the fourth day is entirely different and much more profound. So today was just wanted to make sure that we are all on the same page, how karma is formed. And without sense organs, there would be no karma. So when a soul is without a body, um, after a lifetime, when soul passes out of the body, it is not doing any karma, but it still has the record of previous karmas in it. Is and very interesting too. Any questions, anyone?
I have a lot of questions, but I won't take up everybody's time. And you said, Rupa, some of the things that you said we would be talking about going forward are part of my questions. The thing that I've been thinking about a lot lately is the lives of my ancestors. And because that affects your body, your cells, your nervous system, unless you become aware of that, and you can try to work on your own way of healing your nervous system. But there's a lot that comes from your ancestors too. So I don't know if that's something we can talk about around karma, because you're bringing the karma too. You talked about how it comes from other lives that you've had, right?
Yeah. You are talking about how certain qualities are passed over from one generation
Yeah,
to
I
another.
guess you could say that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, yeah, this is something related to karma as well as the journey of a soul that we have already done in the past workshops. But a soul will always choose a family.
Oh.
Yeah. And it depends on the karma. So again, karma. So now, whatever give and take, it has to impart something to somebody or take something from someone. Only those souls will be connected to that particular soul as a family. And the closest and the most intimate karmic account is always with the parents, child and a parent account.
Yep.
Yeah. And then when we are talking about ancestors like you were, again, there has to be some kind of give and take amongst them. And that's why we are born in a particular family, in a particular country, location, and generation also. Now, because we are we have some past connections with them. This is how it seems like that. See, the DNA and the genetic part is the physical part of it, right? But the
Mm-hmm.
karmic actions will also play a big role here. So a soul enters a particular family due to its past connections. And then, of course, there is a effect of the environment, effect of family and friends on the soul, because there are many folders a soul is carrying in that big computer.
Mm-hmm.
There is one folder which is the account of previous births. Another one is something that the soul will learn from the parents once it is born. And then another folder will be what it learns from school and teachers and friends and relatives, environment. And one folder is the original qualities of soul that nobody can alter, and they are always there, right? Yes. So these are the different folders that a soul will carry always and will learn in every birth. So there is a lot of contradiction and lot of different definitions and explanations about this. So I'm just trying to present only one of them, how I have understood.
Mhm.
One soul will choose its family, not friends, but parents, of course. And then because of absorption of different values from the family and others, it seems like that this is a look-alike quality
Right.
of the ancestors because they are connected somewhere in
Mhm.
lifetime. So
Mhm.
they are connected. So a quality will attract the quality. So that's why soul is born in that. And one of the persons is the ancestor. So a quality will be similar to that in some way. And because we are only looking at one dimension, we think this is a child, this is the father and the grandfather or grandmother. We are not looking in a multiple dimensional, we don't have that viewpoint. We have only one dimensional viewpoint.
Mhm.
We only see, oh, this quality comes from the grandfather.
Mm.
We are only able to go that much.
Right.
Yeah. So just one of the viewpoints that amongst all others that I have read. Yeah. But keep your question alive and maybe it will get answered in the subsequent classes, sessions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question? No? Beautiful. Okay, we'll wind up. Let me stop the recording.